beauties and beats and highlanders. Today we are going to get unrequitedly romantic. So first, the poem. Tic-Tock-Tic. Days pass, 100 whispered words, teardrops, and unanswered wishes. Months pass, 1,000 whispered words, teardrops, and unanswered wishes. Tick-tock-tick. Seasons pass, 1,000,000 whispered words, teardrops, and unanswered wishes. Tick-tock-tick. Years pass. Well, you see where I'm going with this. Tic-Tock-Tic was the first poem I wrote outside of grade school, and I do not present it to you as a great work of poetic art. Just to let you know where I started. I had suffered a romantic disappointment, and was a tad bit shattered by it at the time. The poem was meant to represent the chronic suffering that the pining of unrequited love can wreak on an individual. It was also meant to make fun of my seriousness over the whole matter. It really was time for me to let it go. This melodramatic piece of wordplay was not just my first poem, but my first poem on the way to many, many more. It was also step one to healing over the said romantic disappointment. It wasn't just the rejection that hurt. Sure, that hurt a lot. But as the seasons passed, never actually got to years, thankfully, but as the seasons passed, poetry claimed me, and through verse, free and otherwise, and with more than a little bit of meditation, I freed myself from a fascination that really wasn't worth it, and discovered a creativity I had no idea existed inside me. Become elemental. The red dress is a cracked bell jar. The vacuum seal and her psyche split. Fraying ends and swaying swaths crumble and become one with transient sands. There is no waiting. There is only decay. Incidental transformation. Will you free yourself of this vestment? Abandon threadbare hope and passions? Or be ground down, join the desert tides? There is a blue beauty to the melancholy. You have his memory, your lunar emotions. You have the dunes of bitterness and longing to shift between, to erode and sandblast what is left of your youth. Still and listen. A finer earth calls to you. Above it all is an oasis. Only those that have abandoned cloaks, heavy and empty illusions, can transcend to. Shed the red dress. Cross the coarse abyss. Let the wind nourish your limbs. Dissolve desires to energetic bomb. Dissipate hurts to myth. The red dress is a hair shirt. His memory a millstone. Free yourself from the heavy thorns of time and regret. Bear yourself. Become elemental. I once had an online critic tell me my life sucks. I was feeling pretty good at the moment, and so I asked him how he possibly knew this. He replied he had read my poetry. So there I sat, teetering between being grateful that someone had indeed taken the time to read enough of my words to conclude I was living a miserable Sylvia Plath type existence, and also wanting to explain that no, the poems he'd read were just a slice of my emotional range, and that most of the time I do not walk about like a heartsick emo, my blue suede shoes splotchy from my own tears. Rather, poems are emotional snapshots for a poet. Poems tell the reader how the writer was feeling at any one given moment. They do not tell you how a poet feels all the time, or even most of the time, not even close. We tend to immortalize the more heightened emotional moments in our writing. A whole collection of the most forlorn, unrequited love poetry can be composed by one jolly, happy-go-lucky individual whenever he is not poking at his heart with a metaphorical quill. Poetry can bring out our deeper emotions, and some of them are sad, and even dark and desperate. A poet's job is to be truthful about her emotions and thoughts, to be vulnerable. But that doesn't mean we are constantly morose. But it does mean we have to be brave enough to be seen, if only through our words, to be truly seen and to be brave enough to be examined. Still life and paper cuts. Placed on a platter for your enjoyment. Flesh and fowl, a feather or two, papyrus and quill. Goblets fill from a myriad of my flowing paper cuts. Drink up the scene. Eat your fill. Take your leave. Don't bother with farewells, thank yous, or even a bow. In your pocket, smuggled cartilage, some stolen cutlery. Saw the wishbone down, smash it to dust. Whitewash your chambers with mealy debris. Inkpots fill from my flowing paper cuts. Drink up the scene. Still Life and Paper Cuts is one of my favorite poems in Domesticate the Heavens. Because when I write a poem and I put it out to the world to love or hate, to judge, to be judged over, I hope I laid it all out, offered a banquet of my thoughts and emotions. Yes, I admit I had to have felt sad to write a poem like this. I admit I love, and when that love is lost, so to speak, love is never really lost, but it sure can feel that way. I admit to truly missing another human being. But guess what? I felt a little less sad after having written Still Life and Paper Cuts. Actually, a lot less. Poetry, like our dreams, meditation, and prayer, is mind medication. The poem you write, regardless of how it is received or what others assume about you because of your words, the poem you write will heal and enlighten. There is room for all kinds of poetry. There is room for all kinds of creativity. But one thing for certain, poetry and art create a little more room in you, in your mind. 81. To the minimalist, the word mars the purity of the page. To the creator, the story could never be long enough, nor the page. The Tao is infinitely immense. She has space and time for both the creator and the minimalist. The master, when called upon to defend her teachings, has nothing to defend. She is likely to remain silent. For in the act of defense, she is no longer a master. The master does not possess what needs defending. She does not desire what needs winning. She embraces the Tao. The Tao encompasses all. The master possesses all by embracing the Tao. When you embrace your own creativity and a nameless faith, alright, go ahead and name it if you must. But remember, you can't define it, for it is at the root of all creativity, all experience, and all things. How can that be defined? But when we embrace our creativity, the creativity that flows through us, without expectations, we inevitably find truth, beauty, and healing along the way. So put that pen to paper and write yourself some poetry. And then let the world feast upon your words, however they may. I'll talk to you next time, beauties and beats and high blenders. Words and images are my own. Tic-Tock-Tic is published in Strays. Become Elemental is published in Monsters, Avatars, and Angels. Still Life and Paper Cuts is published in Domesticate the Heavens. 81 is published in 81 Poems from the Tao. All titles are available in paperback or digital through Amazon and your local libraries and bookstores. Thanks again for listening if you're still with me. See you next time. Bye.